Alrighty then. Told my wife I would do another one, so here I am. So today, I'm prepping for a new gaming session that I'm running. It's going to be based in Pathfinder, but it's going to have an extraterrestrial feel. I have one person in the group, my son, who's talking about wanting to build a Saiyan race. So we're going to actually have to create that one. He's really into DBZ right now. Same one that was into Pokemon. And I personally don't have a problem with that. I don't think it'll be too difficult. The Advanced Race Guide, once again, out of the ballpark on that one. I've been able to build all kinds of things out of it. Any of you guys playing Pathfinder out there, if you don't have this book, pick it up. If you do have this book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It has been an absolute godsend. Anyway, so we're going to have to build in that. The other one, the other player I have in the kids group I'm running, is really into manga and anime and that. And he wants to build the main character from an anime called Blue Exorcist, who, I'd have to watch it again, it's been a bit, but is somehow tied to the devil of that universe, is either the direct offspring or is tied to the devil. I believe he's the son of the devil, if I remember correctly. And somehow his powers are tied to a katana. So we're going Tiefling Magus with him. And he's using the katana as a bonded familiar. So I think this campaign will actually turn out rather entertaining. So I'm going to have a Saiyan running around with basically the son of the devil. And they're supposed to be heroes in this world. Already I could just send, a normal module at them and just them playing off each other I think will be quite entertaining. But I think what's going to really make this the topper is how I'm going to do it. I don't think a Saiyan who's constantly, pitting himself against, more and more powerful individuals, having a thirst for battle, which anybody who's seen DBZ knows they all have a thirst for conquest, be it Gohan's incessant book learning at Chi-Chi's request, or Goku's need for proving himself in battle, or Vegeta's need to be better than Kakarot. They always need conquest. They always need to fight. They need to be better. They need to be stronger, So they need a capable bad guy. And not just one capable bad guy. They need a whole field of people who can throw down and throw down well. So I'm thinking orcs. And I think an orc tribe outside of a civilized settlement will definitely be a good way for them to get their feet wet. Now, I let them set their own level. I told them, don't go overboard. Don't go any higher than 10. Figure somewhere where you guys are comfortable in what range. Or not in what range, in the range of, between 1 and 10. And I let them set it. So that, kind of gives me an idea on how comfortable they feel with what power level. And quite surprisingly, they actually picked 5. it lets me know that as gamers, they feel comfortable with lower to mid-range, but not quite comfortable enough to try and fully take on a mid-range campaign yet. So they understand that they are learning, but they feel comfortable enough to go and have something a little bit more than a first level character. So it shows that they are developing and they understand about where they sit. So I like this. They are putting some thought into the characters and wanting to put them together, not necessarily slowly, but they are talking to each other and doing some research on the characters and, you know, what the classes can do that they're looking into and so forth. And there's been a little bit of debate as to whether or not the Saiyan should go into being a barbarian, a fighter, or a monk. Anybody who's seen Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball GT knows those three are probably the primary classes that they can go into, just based on their fighting styles alone. Monk being if they were on Earth, fighter being if they were on Vegeta, and then barbarian pretty much if they were anywhere else that wasn't necessarily civilized and was focused entirely on just surviving. I told him he could pick any one of them, but spellcasting probably isn't going to be high on a fighter type races to-do list. But you know, fighters come from every background. It would be entirely up to him. He asked my opinion, I gave him my honest opinion. But I told him he can make it whatever he wants, but my opinion was. So I made sure to preface it before, you know, throwing anything out there. So, I don't know, I think it's going to be a fairly interesting campaign. And if they ever get around to watching these, they'll know that there will be 3 main bad guys. They will be of extraterrestrial origin. And then it won't be an easy fight, any of them. But, if they think about it, and they don't, you know, go in there and immediately try to smash their head right in the middle of the encounter, it should be okay. I don't put anything in front of them that I haven't prepared them for. Because I know they are still learning. And I try to make sure that anything I put in front of them, I make sure to put weaker versions of it in front of them so they get used to not only the combat style used, but that if there's anything specific or special, they can also get used to that as well, so they don't get caught off guard. Very rarely do I actually have a main bad guy that has an entirely different combat dynamic than his minions. I save that for my advanced players. Anyway, in the world of cards, I have gotten some new Pokemon cards. I did revamp a deck. I was all set to play. And then I started doing stuff around the house, so my son ended up getting more playtime than what I did. I have yet to actually use it. I play tested it, though. It seemed pretty entertaining. I went through it 3 times. You know, playing out a hand, 10 steps, just to see what would happen. And just playing it out 10 steps, that seems to work out best when I was playing Magic. So, trying it this way, it ended up working out pretty well. The 2 different combat dynamics that I have in there, I still don't know if I'm doing it quite right Pokemon style, but I know from a Magic the Gathering standpoint, I'm definitely doing what I need to do. Because with Magic, you could either go after the hit points, after the creatures, then the hit points, after somebody's library in their hand, and just, lock them out. But yeah, no, I think I'm doing fairly well. It looks like I'm crossing my 10-minute threshold here. So, from Tad's World of Gaming, I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. So, may all your rolls be 20, unless you're rolling a D12. Then say you got a 20 and see what happens. Have a good one. Be well.